So now I'm just going to reverse everything, starting with putting this guy back in. I'm going to give it a little cleanup first. We'll be back. Okay, so I got a couple of the grounds out of it. I'm going to try placing this guy back in here and see how it goes. This is all one-handed, of course. Not ideal. Tilt that guy back, give it a little room. There. We got it in. Alright. This is seated pretty nicely. I can tell it's 99% there. So I'm going to put this handle back on the arm to give it some stabilization. If you heard that, it clicks. Let's see if it works. So I hope you heard the click. The camera dropped out there for a moment. So this is clicked in. Seems to be working. I'm going to flip it over. Actually, I'm going to put these screws in first. These long guys. Just to get that stabilized in there, in the housing. There we go. Get the other guys started. And that last one I have no idea how I'm going to put in. Okay. It's basically finger tight. This guy goes in the back down here. Can't even really see it here. Look at this. You can see there's a little notch. Right there, where the screw's going to go. I gotta use two hands for that. I'll be back. So I skipped putting that screw in. I don't know if I'm going to put it back in at all. We'll see. I got one of these screws in here. Starting this one with fingers because it's going into plastic, I think, and I don't want to force anything. Just trying to find a notch where it wants to actually start itself. I'm going to put this down and use two hands for this one too. Okay. Okay, so I got these two screws in, flush here. That tilts it back upright. Let's see the detent with the spring. So I'm going to go spring first. The cap on it. It should go up and down a little bit, and a little bit of give. Do the second one back here. Okay. 1, 2. This thing's sturdy without that one screw. Okay. Put this guy on it. So it's tight-ish. And this is where I'm guessing because this is where I blew the fuse fixing it the first time. Alright. I'm going to start there. Supposedly it makes a chirp when you fire it up and it's set up correctly. Let's find out. I didn't hear a chirp. Unplug. Get it a little tighter. Oh yeah. Alright, that's a fair amount tighter, probably 10 or 12 notches. Still a fair amount of space in between the burrs. Unplug it. Try it again. Alright, we'll try that. That was 3 or 4. Still sounds good. Nope. So one tip I want to pass along, you probably found this out, you can use this to turn this when it gets difficult, a lot more grip. This is the best I could find. It sounded like it was grinding, which blew out the fuse 2 days ago. So this is where I'm going to leave it. This is what's going to be 1. You can see how close the burrs are there. Go right into the light. That's the sound we're going to have. So what you do now, put the the focus ring on here, the calibration ring, I guess. Let's see. Got these two screws. I'm trying to think if I left anything out at this point. I don't think so. So I'm going to put one of these screws, put this one right here. Finger tight. The other guy here. Make sure it's completely to the left. This is being stopped by the part of the housing of the motor. So I'm going to make sure it's pushed all the way to the stopping point and get it really tight. As tight as it needs to be for this. I do not know where I left off. I think I was screwing these things. So those are on there tight. Okay. Now, I'm going to place this guy up here. Screw one, screw two. Even in the holes. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. It should screw in pretty easily. That one started not screwing in and I'm like it's going in at an angle. Just back it out and then try again. This one's going in alright. Okay. Next, the hopper. Shouldn't be too difficult. I already had the screws left in there. Screwdriver in. I don't think that's doing anything. I need a smaller screwdriver. There we go. And you feel it stop. Okay, so I think I left off screwing these guys in with this screwdriver. Alright, we're good. I'm not putting the caps back on until I test it because those caps are not a fun thing to try to pry out of this. We have the one leftover screw, that's a part to something else. So I'm going to throw some coffee in and give it a whirl. So I pulled it apart. So I pulled it apart and moved it 2 notches from where it was. It grinds beans now. I'm going to put it together and see what kind of fine powder #1 setting gives me. So I got the thing back together. Hit grind. Sounded good. Sounded like it normally does. Let's look at the grounds. Fine enough to me. I think we're going to work with it. Find out when I try to pull a shot later. Alright, thanks for watching. Changing the fuse and pulling out the motor on the Gaggia MDF coffee grinder.